Regular scheduled city council meeting for North College Hill for the year of 2023. Kind of hard to believe. So, with that, we will start this meeting as we always do. If everyone would please stand for our prayer and then the Pledge of Allegiance. God our Father, we are all your servants. We trust in your mercy and love. We trust also in your guidance. Direct the meetings of this council of North College Hill to make good decisions for all the people who live in our city. Give all the members of this council wisdom and insight to know what is best for our city. Help us to be fair and just in all our decisions. Bless us all to do the very best we can with your help and guidance. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Call this meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, well, again, welcome to the December 18th North College Hill City Council meeting. Mr. Hedger, when you're ready, please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein.
Present.
Mr. Wall.
Here.
Ms. Underwood.
Here.
Ms. Alexander.
Here.
Ms. Zorb.
Here.
Ms. Blythe.
Here.
Ms. Brunner.
Present.
All right, we have tonight's agenda.
Mr. President,
Ms. DeWald?
I have a question about the agenda.
Yes, ma'am.
We're looking at the calendar here tonight. Should I do this to put it on the agenda now or do it under new business to approve this calendar?
I think we can do it under new business, can't we?
Perfect. That's what
All
I'll
right,
do.
thank you.
With that in mind, I move to accept the agenda.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion on the floor to accept the agenda for tonight's meeting by Ms. DeWald, second by Ms. Zorb. Any discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein.
Yes.
Mr. Wall.
Yes.
Ms. Underwood.
Yes.
Ms. Alexander.
Yes.
Ms. Zorb.
Yes.
Ms. Blythe.
Yes.
Ms. Brunner.
Yes.
Motion passed 7-0.
Thank you. All right, we have minutes from our last meeting on December 4th, as well as the minutes from the previous meeting on 11/20, which we did not accept at our last meeting. Are we okay to do those both together?
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
I glanced through them and I don't see any issues, so I will make a motion to accept the minutes for 12/4/2023 and 11/20/2023.
Thank you. Motion for Ms. Zorb to adopt or to accept the minutes from November 20th and December the 4th.
I'll second the motion.
Seconded by Ms. Blythe. All right, motion to accept minutes from December 4th and November 20th by Ms. Zorb, seconded by Ms. Blythe. Any discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein.
Yes.
Mr. Wall.
Yes.
Ms. Underwood.
Yes.
Ms. Alexander.
Yes.
Ms. Zorb.
Yes.
Ms. Blythe.
Yes.
Ms. Brunner.
Yes.
Motion passed 7-0.
Thank you. Any communication tonight, Mr. Hedger?
Thank you, Mr. President. The only communications is I provided council with the draft calendar, which was discussed, will be discussed in new business.
Thank you. We'll turn our attention to council committees, starting with City Community Development and Recreation.
Hello, everyone. City Community Development and Recreation had a meeting on December 11th at 6:30, and we discussed recycling. Hamilton County Resource chose North College Hill as a target community for recycling. The year 2023 and 2024. This will kick off mid-May 2024. And they want to have it implemented by August 2024. And that recycling will be where the recycling bins are going in the homes. Recycling bins are going in a home, and they're going to separate the recycling, then dump it out in the front to Rumpke.
You need to be excused.
That won't be till next year, 2024. And on December 7th, I reached out to Mr. Dieters and asked for some legislation on a moratorium about cannabis dispensaries in North College Hill.
Ms. Brunner, can I pause you for just a second?
Sure.
Sorry.
Second, please.
Ms. DeWald, go ahead.
Ms. Underwood needs to be excused for a
Okay.
moment. Because I'm sorry, I didn't.
Oh, that's fine. You
Mr.
did
President,
excuse?
we ain't got to vote on it, do we? May I be excused?
Yes, so,
You need a cough drop? Look at you.
well, she kind of has a problem going on
Yeah.
here, so.
Just a little issue.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Ms. Bruner.
Okay, no problem. That's fine. On December 7th, I reached out to Mr. Dieters and asked him for some legislation on a moratorium about cannabis dispensaries in North College Hill. He sent that legislation over, and I discussed it with my group, the City Community Development Recreation Group, and we all agreed that we would bring it to council in an ordinance, and the moratorium is for 9 months. So we want this moratorium there for 9 months so we could kind of do our research, kind of see how the law is changing, and maybe get with code enforcement and just set a precedence for North College Hill for these dispensaries that's coming. And we had some old business, the hazardous household waste. It went so well, we're thinking about doing it twice a year and implementing shredding, tires, and some prescription drugs. And that was it. Our next meeting is January 8th at 6:30, 2024.
Thank you, Ms. Brunner. Next up is Budget and Finance.
Budget and Finance met Monday, December 11th at 7:30 PM. We talked about our December budget update, 2024 budget, our things that, and primary items we want to see in our budget. We got an update on the splash pad, and then we had some new business, no old business, and we adjourned at 8:46. And our next meeting is January 8th at 7:30, 2024.
Thank you. So next up will be Rules and Public Policy. I want to give Ms. Underwood a minute.
I'm good.
Are you
It's-
sure?
Yes.
Okay.
So we haven't met in the month of December yet. Our next meeting will be December 26th, which I know is an observed holiday for a lot of companies. But, so I'll probably ask the members if they want to meet the day after or what they would like to do, but that's our next scheduled meeting.
Thank you. And then Public Safety?
Same thing, we haven't met yet for the month of December. Our next meeting is scheduled for December 26th, again, which is an observed holiday. So we can either meet on December 26th or December 27th, whatever the members prefer.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Underwood. Next up on the agenda is ad hoc reports. Does anyone have an ad hoc report this evening?
Mr. President,
Ms. DeWald?
I'm the OKI representative, and Ms. Lori Platt reached out to me, and they are going to come to us. And right now, we're deciding whether it's going to be a one-on-one contact or with the council. I think it should be with the council because it does involve grant money. They seem to always forget the little cities, and they were supposed to have something earlier this summer, but I tell you what, I've been so off the mark. If they had it, I wasn't aware of it. But she did contact me and say that they can come to us. So I would like council to give me their opinion on whether they want to have it a one-on-one or have it here at the council meeting. That's not her preference, by the way. Not at the council meeting.
To not come to the council
No,
meeting.
she's going to have slides. And I'm thinking, I think we should all see it. So,
Okay.
does that feel good for the rest of us?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll contact her and let her know that we prefer to have it in the meeting form. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other ad hoc reports?
Mr. President,
Ms. Dukestein?
on December the, on December the 11th at 6:30, I attended the North College Hill City School Board meeting, and they were doing a lot of, as we are, next year budget cleanup stuff, you know, talking about through their budget. But the one thing that stuck out to me, and Mayor Nichols will have to remind me of the assistant superintendent's name.
Michelle Garden.
Ms. Garden wrote a grant for North College Hill City School District, and they were able to get interactive playground, virtual, in the elementary school that the kids and staff are super excited about. They were, the high school principal or interim, who's ever standing in, was coming over, and then middle school, where they were talking about how they came over to play with it. And it seems really interactive. I know for me, my children have a MetaQuest, and we love it. And so I was really impressed, because not a lot of schools have that technology. It to help council kind of understand what it does. So when you put together puzzles or very elaborate puzzles, it kind of does that for them virtually. So it helps with their critical thinking, and it's something that it feels like a game. So I was very impressed with that. Other than that, they had their usual like budget stuff. So that's it.
That's exciting.
It is exciting.
Thank you, Ms. Dukestein. Any other ad hoc reports this evening? Hearing none, we'll move on to the administrative reports. Good evening, Madam Mayor. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, I guess Mr. Winter is here now.
Only
If
till
I-
tomorrow.
Only till tomorrow, and then we're gonna have spring again, right?
Gonna warm
I'm
up.
not sure, but it's cold out there. I just wanted to thank everyone for coming out who was able to come, and even if you weren't able to come to the Christmas party this year. I think it was really nice. Thanks, Ms. Dukestein, for helping do that. Ms. Iki as well. We appreciate it, and I just want to tell everybody to have a safe, happy holidays. Whatever you celebrate, just be safe. Enjoy your families.
Thank you, Ms. Nichols. Anyone have any questions for the mayor? All right, next up is the city administrator's report. Ms. Ike.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do want to remind everybody that the city building is closed the next 2 Mondays, December 25th and January 1st for the observed holidays. So staff will not be in this building. I got a notification today that Rita is sending out about 4,500 letters to non-filers. They're going out as early as today, but throughout the week. We are going to put the information on our website tomorrow so people who haven't paid can still have the opportunity to pay before the end of the year. But that's a fair number of letters to non-filers in our city that are going out. Folks that they have who have paid in the past that did not pay in 2023. So if you get calls or questions from residents, have them check the website for the paperwork. If they have any questions, they should contact Rita directly. And then we also sent out the rental registration forms. That was about 450 letters that went out. I think it was late last week. So those folks with rental properties in North College Hill, there's an annual fee for that. It's so that we can get a handle on which properties in town are rentals and which are not. So those letters went out as well. That is all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Ike. Anyone have any questions for Ms. Ike? All right,
Mr. President,
Ms. Dukestein.
Ms. Iki, did you have an opportunity to look at the, I don't know if we're officially calling it rules or for the budget for the city, the new like rubric we're gonna go through for spending that we discussed at our last budget and finance meeting.
I sent out a letter or a memo to the department heads about spending and the proper procedures for that, and reminded them that we were implementing those. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, next up is the law director's report. Mr. Dieters.
I have no report this evening.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood,
I actually have a question for Mr. Dieters.
go ahead.
So this ordinance that you wrote about the moratorium, what is that?
Well, I thought that Mrs. Brenner wanted a ordinance to put a moratorium on the granting of any licenses for dispensaries in the city of North College Hill for a period of time until state legislature kind of settles in on what they're gonna look like and what the application process is gonna be, and then potentially what areas of zoning code and our code we'd allow them to be in. So it just puts a moratorium on granting any license during that period of time.
Okay.
Next item on the agenda is the finance director's report. Finance director is not here this evening, so we'll move to call of members. Ms. Dukestein.
She is.
Mr. President. I was
I'm sorry.
gonna say-
Just that person in the meeting.
It's not a finance director.
Yeah, I apologize.
I will.
Ms. Zeki.
Mr. President, we do not currently have a finance director.
Okay. All right, then we'll move on to call the members. Ms. Dukestein.
I'd like to say thank you to all those that came out to the Christmas party. It's always a lot of fun just to get outside of these kinds of walls and have fun and talk socially. Happy holidays to everyone. And I want to kind of re-put back on the, we had been talking about in Erica's committee, or Miss Underwood's committee, about the bike and calming study down there on Hamilton Avenue. I have since seen 3 other accidents, and I'm taking pictures of them. It is, I don't know what to say about that, but we're still getting Indy 500 in our area. And lots of accidents in their area. So when we do meet in your committees, we can kind of chat as to, again, what we need to do there. It's super, super dangerous in my opinion. I, for one, just when I turn, I get confused about where to turn, how to turn. So I don't know. That is it, and that is all.
Thank you. Ms. DeWald.
Yes, thank you. I do want to touch a little bit on this traffic calming. Going by ambulance over humps are never fun, especially when you're sick. And I see a lot of accidents happening in College Hill because of those posts and little bumps on the road. So I don't know what the answer is for traffic calming, but the more we put up, the more they seem to fight against it. So, anyway, that's there. But I wanted to wish a fond farewell to Lori Blythe, Miss Blythe. She's been with us for quite a while, and she used to sit out there and decided she wanted to sit up here. And I just think as a colleague, she's been very beneficial to me. I appreciate all her thoughts and concerns, and I wish you well. We're going to miss you. Well, I'm going to miss you. And then Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Ms. Underwood.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm trying to still catch my breath here. I just, with regard to the traffic calming, I too, that whole intersection down at the intersection of Hamilton and North Bend is just completely out of control. It just is. I wasn't thinking of, that wasn't my vision. So, in the new year, we'll get back to discussing that, but definitely, I can see that that's definitely not, I don't know if that's the best solution, but we definitely need to have a solution. I would agree with that. I too would like to wish, Laree, Miss Blythe, just so long, but I'm sure that you'll be just as active as you were before. So I'm sure that we will still see you participating in various committees and other things in the city, because clearly you care about your city. And I tell people all the time that this is a labor of love. There's no, anybody who goes into public service, especially as a member of council in North College Hill. Definitely a labor of love. So I would like to thank you for your service. Also, I would like to say congratulations to two of our residents who also happen to be my daughter and my brand-new son-in-law, who were married, yesterday? No, Saturday. Saturday. And also wish everyone, happy holidays, whatever holiday you celebrate, and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Ms. Alexander.
I would like to indeed wish everyone happy holidays. This is a time of fellowship and family and just being good to one another. Ms. Blythe, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure, and you will be missed, and I hope that you will still come to council meetings and stuff like that and give your opinions, and we can talk, and we could talk about purses and sweaters and yeah. And just to piggyback on the traffic calming, what really struck me is today we got that snow, and it got me to thinking, if we were to get piles of snow and the street bulldozers come, how are they going to get that snow from in those areas, because they can't bulldoze the whole street now, because now they have those,
Yeah.
I don't know, what do you call them?
No traffic there, so you wouldn't have.
But still, it's going to be blindsiding. If we, as snow, just like when you go in the parking lot and they shovel snow, you always see those big hills of snow everywhere. It's going to create blind spots and stuff like that. But that, when I saw the snow today, I was like, okay, I can see potential, just like piles of snow just going. I was just curious how they would do any type of maintenance with that. But once again, happy holidays to everyone, and just be good to each other. That's all.
Thank you. Ms. Zorb.
Good evening. So I would like to tell Ms. Blythe that I'm going to miss sitting next to you. It's always something different. It's always something exciting sitting next to you. And I'm going to miss, I always call it like you move in every night, every time that we're here. You move in. She's got, like if your laptop's here, then you got a mouse pad, and she's like, you just move in every time, and I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss sitting next to you. So please come back and see us. And I would like to wish everyone a joyous and safe Christmas. That's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Blythe.
Too much. I'm embarrassed. I wanted to thank Ms. Dukestein and also Mayor Nichols for a very nice, delicious, and heartwarming North College Hill Christmas holiday party. I really enjoyed it, and I like seeing people in just a festive session, so it was a lot. And just want to say that I'll miss you guys too, and I've learned a lot, really have. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Blythe. Ms. Brunner.
First, I have a question for Ms. Icky. The traffic calming, do we not have a grant for, we do not have a grant for?
Not currently.
No grant currently, okay. Okay, well, I just want to say, did everybody get the email on the moratorium? Because I've been having a lot of email issues also. I just want to make sure that everybody got that email.
I didn't.
Okay. Okay, and I just want to say, Ms. Black, it's such a delight seeing you walk through those doors every meeting with a smile on your face, greeting everybody. It's just always a delight just to see you come through those doors. And your transparency is awesome. I love that. Yeah. And just like Ms. Zorb say, sit to the left, she told me she need room. She told me she need room over here, and I said, okay, I'll stay right here, you know. She got seniority, so. But, you know, city, community, and development and recreation is always here for you. And I enjoy working with you on the Fall Fest, so you know I got a lot of stuff going on, and I'll be calling you. And I would love your help and everything. I just want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Whatever you do, however you celebrate, whatever you do and however you do celebrate, we all trying to go to the same place at the end of the day. And be safe, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brunner. All right, next up, we have remarks from the audience. Mr. Hedger, has anyone signed in?
No, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. We'll move to legislation.
Third reading resolution number 27, 2023, a resolution authorizing the city to execute a contract for reconstruction of Prospect Place in the city of North College Hill and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt Resolution 27, 2023.
Mr. President,
Ms. DeWald?
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. DeWald to adopt Resolution 27-2023. Any discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein,
Yes.
Ms. DeWald,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood,
A resounding yes.
Ms. Alexander,
Yes.
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Blythe,
Yes.
Ms. Brunner.
Yes.
Motion passed 7-0.
Ms.
Second
Underwood,
reading.
Would you like to do a dance? Sorry, Mr. Hedger. I'm sorry, Mr. Hedger, please proceed.
Second reading ordinance number 16, 2023, an ordinance making appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures for the city of North College Hill, Ohio for the period beginning January 1st, 2024 and ending December 31st, 2024.
Mr. President,
Ms. DeWald?
I move to suspend the third reading.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. DeWald, second by Ms. Zorb to suspend third reading for ordinance number 16-2023. Any discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein,
Yes.
Ms. DeWald,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood,
Yes.
Ms. Alexander,
Yes.
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Blythe,
Yes.
Ms. Brunner.
Yes.
Motion passed 7-0.
Mr.
President,
I had Ms. DeWald.
I move to adopt Resolution 27, 2023.
Mr. President.
Ordinance 16,
I'm
you
sorry,
mean?
resolution, yes.
Ordinance 16, correct?
Yeah.
Ordinance.
That's what I wanted to say.
Mr.
Ms.
President.
Zorb?
I will second the motion to adopt ordinance 16, 2023.
Thank you. All right, so motion by Ms. DeWald, second by Ms. Zorb to adopt ordinance 16-2023. Any discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein,
Yes.
Ms. DeWald,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood,
No.
Ms. Alexander,
Yes.
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Blythe,
Yes.
Ms. Brunner.
Yes.
Motion passed 6-1.
Thank you. Next reading, please.
First reading ordinance number 17, 2023, an ordinance making supplemental appropriations.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the second and third readings to ordinance 17, 2023.
Mr. President,
Ms. DeWald?
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. DeWald to suspend second and third readings on ordinance 17-2023. Any discussion?
Mr. President,
Ms. Dukestein?
do we see this before? Oh,
This is the
okay.
cleanup budget we
Great.
talked
I'm
about at
saying,
finance.
It just is formatted a little differently. It threw me off. Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein,
Yes.
Mr. Wall,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood,
Yes.
Ms. Alexander,
Yes.
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Blythe,
Yes.
Ms. Brunner.
Yes.
Motion passed 7-0.
Mr. President,
Ms. DeWald,
I move to adopt ordinance, where are we, 17, 2023.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb.
I will second that motion.
Motion by Ms. DeWald, second by Ms. Zorb to adopt ordinance 17-2023. Any discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein,
Yes.
Mr. Wall,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood,
No.
Ms. Alexander,
Yes.
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Blythe,
Yes.
Ms. Brunner.
Yes.
Motion passed 6-1.
Thank you. And final reading.
First reading, ordinance number 18, 2023, an ordinance imposing a moratorium of 9 months on adult use cannabis operators within the city of North College Hill, Ohio.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb.
I'll make a motion to suspend second and third reading on ordinance 18, 2023.
Mr. President,
Ms. DeWald,
I'll second that.
motion by Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. DeWald to suspend second and third readings for ordinance 18-2023. Any discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein,
Yes.
Mr. Wall,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood,
No.
Ms. Alexander,
Yes.
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Blythe,
Yes.
Ms. Brunner.
Yes.
Motion passed 6-1.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb,
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 18, 2023.
Mr. President,
Ms. DeWald,
I'll second that.
motion by Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. DeWald to adopt ordinance number 18-2023. Any discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein,
Yes.
Mr. Wall,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood,
No.
Ms. Alexander,
Yes.
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Blythe,
Yes.
Ms. Brunner.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-1.
Thank you. All right, next on the agenda is further remarks from the audience as it pertains to any of this legislation we've discussed this evening. All right, we'll move on to old business.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
can we talk about, or I don't know, I can just make a motion to give Miss Iki permission to cut the lock off of the file cabinet and get, I'm assuming we haven't found a key anywhere. Does anyone on council have an opposing opinion to her having the lock cut off of the file cabinet and put a new lock on it?
I have no opposition. I think
Mr.
it's a great
President.
idea. It's the only way we're going to get in there.
Mr. President,
All the files?
Ms. Nichols?
I'm sorry. If we can check with Ms. Sager to see if she has it on her key ring, and then if not, then if you motion that way, then we'll proceed. But we're gonna check with her. She's doing better, and so now we can communicate with her to see if she has it on her key ring before we cut it off, if you motion to cut it.
Excuse me, Madam Mayor, did you say she was doing better?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Mr. President?
Ms. Zorb?
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the city administrator to have the lock cut off of the file cabinet in the event we cannot find the key.
I'll second that.
Can I add in a timely manner?
Motion by Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. DeWald to authorize the city administrator to cut the lock off the filing cabinet if the key can't be found in a timely manner. Any discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein,
Yes.
Mr. Wall,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood,
Yes.
Ms. Alexander,
Yes.
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Blythe,
Yes.
Ms. Brunner.
Yes.
Motion passed 7-0.
Thank you. Any other old business?
Mr. President,
Ms. Dukestein?
I did not get the chance to say thank you, Ms. Blythe, for your service. I appreciate you, and I'm sad to see you go. I meant to put that in my memory, but it slipped me when we were going past. But I just wanted to personally say you will be missed.
Thank you. Last call for old business? All right, moving to new business. I'll start with Ms. DeWald.
Yep, I have several items. So the first is the calendar that we received. What we have is a draft. I've looked through it. I don't see where there's going to be any issues with this calendar. I make a motion to accept the calendar for the 2024 year for council.
Mr. President,
Ms. Dukestein?
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. DeWald, second by Ms. Dukestein to accept the 2024 council and committee meeting schedule calendar. Any discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein?
Yes.
Mr. Wall?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Ms. Alexander?
Yes.
Ms. Zohr?
Yes.
Ms. Blythe?
Yes.
Ms. Brunner?
Yes.
Motion passed 7-0.
Thank you.
Mr.
Ms.
President,
DeWald,
I still have quite a few items yet I want to go through.
go ahead.
So it's on our calendar. The first thing right out of the box is January 2nd. We are going to have our workshop to set up our council seats, the committees we want to be on. Also, that would be a great time for us that have just been elected to be sworn in. Now, Mr. Dieters would be available to come in and do that and just swear us all in at one time, if you don't have someone to swear you in. If that's an idea, I'm going to say get back with Mr. Dieters. I personally think it's so convenient, I don't know how I would say no to it. We're all going to be here anyway. So with that in mind, the next topic is,
I'm sorry, can we,
sure.
so as far as the organizational meeting, do we want to set a time for that? Or do we want to start at 7 o'clock with the organizational meeting?
Mr. President,
Ms. or Ms. Underwood?
so will the new members be sworn in right before the organizational
Yes.
meeting? Okay.
So we don't have to show up, so we wouldn't have to show up on the first then, or?
No, we won't show up on the first.
First meeting will be on the 2nd.
Okay.
And we'll make sure you have a copy of this before you leave today.
I mean, I'm fine to do it before 7, or what's the will of council? How do we want to do the organizational meeting?
Mr. President,
Ms. Dukestein?
I think we should hear from those that need to be sworn in, what your preferences are, because your families,
I'm swearing in separate from the organizational meeting.
okay.
We do that first, so that
Yes.
I
we're
thought you
legal.
were wanting to put it together. Is that what I thought I
we could
heard?
do it once, at one time, so we just all be here, get it done. Mr. Dieters can either hang out with us or bamboos.
2 years ago, we just all did it together.
So
before a meeting.
That's why I was suggesting
Correct.
that we hear from those, because I thought that you were suggesting that we do it together. No?
Right,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay.
So, Mr. President,
Oh.
are we
Ms.
going to
Nichols.
have any official business at this particular meeting, or is it just going to be a council organizational
It's
meeting
just gonna be a workshop meeting
for a council? Okay.
for seating, for the new year. That all, you know what that all entails. So there's no legislation, no discussion of money, nothing like that. If that's what you're referring to?
Yes.
The
So the organizational meeting,
Seating
generally,
It's
chart.
for
just-
seating
it
committees.
just
and-
involves council, has nothing to do with this administrative table, so,
Correct.
okay.
Mr. President,
Part of the administrative table.
Yes.
just
Ms.
just for clarity,
I'll be here.
so we will do the swearing in prior to the 7 o'clock? Are you saying like we need to come in at like 6:45, or is that what we're talking about? And clarification on workshop, like, you're saying no organization, so it's not gonna be like a regular meeting, or is it gonna be like a regular meeting?
No, it's a workshop. It's not, if you look in your council rules, I think it's defined in there, but it's just a matter of getting us organized at the table, what committees we're going to be
Okay.
on, what, that thing.
So are we gonna do 6:45, so I can put it in my calendar, or?
That's fine with me. I'm looking at the two that work, so I'm depending on you two to set the time.
I'm fine with 6:45.
Anyone that can't be here at 6:45 on the 2nd?
It's only the people that are getting sworn in that have to be at 6:45, right?
Oh, we want everybody there. We want you there. We want everybody there.
What am I missing? 6:45, they get sworn in. 7 o'clock, we start the organizational meeting.
Well, that's what we're deciding. Are we starting the organizational meeting at 6:45 or are we starting it at 7?
We're starting it at 6:45, Mr. President.
So
It only
the
takes 5
suggestion was the organizational meeting starts at 6:45, which
All right.
means swearing in would have to take place prior to 6:45.
Just 5 minutes, that's all we need.
All right.
So swearing in would be at 6:40.
Yeah. Mr. President,
I'm sorry, Ms. Dwell.
I'd like to ask Mr. Dieters a question.
Go ahead.
Does this time suit you?
Yeah, I can do that.
I mean, that would be important.
No problem at all.
Thank you.
All right,
Mr. President,
Ms. Dukestein.
I do not have any conflicts at this moment, but I also do not have the basketball schedule for January. And that would probably predict whether or not it's going to be a go. But we should have games on Tuesdays. So I honestly, I don't know.
So,
I will be able to be here for sure at 7, so you guys can do your part at 6:45 if you like. And then I'll be here for sure at 7. It's the best I can give right now.
And Mr. President,
Ms. Nichols.
I know you said it, but I just want to be clear that if I so choose not to come to that meeting, I'm not missing anything.
No, you're not missing anything.
It'll be a lot of fun.
So anyone on council besides obviously Ms. Dukes-Dean, as she doesn't know what the schedule is yet, that is opposed to an organizational meeting at 6:45?
I am not opposed.
Okay, then let's plan on having our organizational meeting at 6:45 on the 2nd. And I'm sorry, before I said that, Mr. Davis, does that work for you?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm letting it in as we speak.
Okay. And then the other part is Ms. DeWald, Ms. Brunner, no,
No.
I'm sorry, Ms.
It's
Alexander,
Alexander.
and Mr. Davis need to be sworn in. So
Correct.
1, 2.
Ms. DeWald has already suggested that we just have Mr. Dieters
Oh,
do it
Ms.
at
DeWald.
6:40 for everyone that is getting sworn in on council. Is that okay with you, Ms. Alexander, or did you have other plans?
Oh, I put it in my,
Okay, so you're fine with
Calendar.
that, 6:40 for swearing in?
yeah, it's fine with me.
Does that work for you, Mr. Davis, or did you have other plans? Okay.
6:40.
Mr. President,
Ms. DeWald.
on that same note about the swearing in that cabinet that we can't get into, and I hope somebody has it in their computer as a blank form for the oath. If somebody has a blank form, if you could shoot it to me or just put it in the mailbox.
Oath? I'm getting it somewhere.
And if, Mr. President,
Ms.
we
Nichols.
love Mr. Dieters, but if you don't, if that's not your choice, you have
I
your
mean,
other options.
obviously, everyone here has the opportunity that's getting
To have
sworn in to have
whomever they
whoever they
choose.
want that can swear them in.
Yeah.
Legally, swear them in.
Elected official can swear you in.
Or
Correct.
n-
Or,
notary.
a
Is it a
attorney
notary?
in the state of Ohio or a notary.
Yeah.
So I could also ask a member of council to swear me in as well.
You could.
Sure.
As long as they've already been sworn in.
Elected.
Yes, as long as they are elected, existing.
They have to get sworn in first.
Elected, not appointed, right? Can
So
it-
you might want
right.
to check that out beforehand to make sure that person says yes.
Okay. Or I'll do mine at 6:46.
Or what?
I'll do mine at 6:46.
Not at 6:46, because
Nope.
the.
6:44.
meeting starts- Yeah, 6:44.
So, yeah, if you choose to have someone else, then we can get both of those done before we start our organizational meeting. Does that take care of that, Ms. DeWald?
No, I have two more items.
Well, does that take care of that?
Oh, that takes care of that.
Okay,
Yes,
please
I
proceed
hope.
with your next item.
I hope. So Ms. Underwood talked about moving a committee meeting night. Did you have any idea what you might move that to, or just council's pleasure?
Well, we're gonna, Mr. President, can I talk to? Okay.
Yes,
So
Ms.
since
Underwood.
we're
Sidebar.
having an organizational meeting, I'm hoping maybe somebody might be the chair of one of those committees instead of me. I'm just saying.
Okay, because that's what we'll be setting is the chair heads and the
Yeah,
co-chairs.
so before I even, because maybe I won't be the chair, so.
Right, okay.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zor?
I think I got confused. I thought Ms. DeWald was referring to the December 27th meeting that you would still be the chair for. That would happen before. Is that what
Oh,
you're,
yes.
She said,
there's still one more meeting this,
Right,
there's still one more committee
I
meeting
was-
this year.
I was confused. I thought the 26th was Monday. It is not Monday.
It's not.
So, right, so I'm good. We're good to meet on the 26th. You see, I am
Yes.
just,
Mr. President.
I know, that coughin spell just took it out of you, didn't it?
right, it did.
Ms. Dukestein?
So, Ms. Underwood, I just want to remind you, I think I was following your thought process. The 26th is actually an honored holiday for most businesses, which is what you verbally said. And
That is, and I thought that was the case. Is that right?
That is
See,
correct.
I am-
But that is on a Tuesday. So
Okay.
you were asking if we wanted to proceed with the Tuesday or move the meeting to the 27th, which is a
Okay, see,
Wednesday.
when I looked at my digital calendar, I was like, wait, maybe I'm confused, because the courthouse is closed on the 26th. For those of you, I mean, so I'm like, how are they closed on the 26th? But it's okay, the judges do what they want to do. And they're closed the Friday before, I think.
oh, how nice.
Right. It's nice to be king.
Okay, so then,
So I'm just, so I just want to know what everybody's pleasure is. I'm fine to meet whenever.
I'm good with the 26th.
Okay.
26th is
President?
fine for me.
Ms. Zor?
So I'm going way outside the box, Ms. Underwood. Do you have any, do we have a get out of jail free card? Do you have anything for your agenda, or should we?
Not, I was just going to do kind of a wrap up and just,
Okay,
just, I don't really have anything, just the same things that we've kind of been, the same dead horses we continue to beat, so.
Well, we can just cancel the meetings and then pick up in January with the leftovers.
I feel bad because I canceled the last meeting.
Oh, well,
I mean, Mr. President,
Ms. Dukestein?
I guess it just depends on if you have pressing issues. Either way is fine. I am fine with that day. That is actually a Tuesday, but there's no game because they're actually off. So
Okay, well, let me ask the members of those two committees, is there anything other than, I am going to put together that binder for Mr. Davis that I put together for Ms. Bruner, because she told me it was very helpful. So I'm going to put that binder together. Is there anything other than that anyone wants to discuss or feel like we need to discuss or address?
Mr. President,
Ms. Blythe?
the 27th is better for me. I have plans on the 26th.
do you have anything to discuss?
No, I don't have anything to discuss.
just ask it out loud.
Mr. President,
Ms. Brunner?
so Ms. Underwood, that's the 26th.
Okay, so if we don't have anything to discuss, I am perfectly fine, canceling that meeting. And then we'll just, during our organizational meeting, we'll figure out the chairs and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Mr. President,
Ms. DeWald?
I have a small wrench I want to throw in here because it's the last of my new business
So,
about
it's about that?
about
Okay.
traffic calming and stuff. I was going to ask if we could set up a meeting with the department heads to get their ideas and what they believe speed control should be. The fire department, because like I said, when you're in an ambulance going down that road, you don't want to be in that ambulance. You want to be on a different road.
Right.
Maybe we could do it during public safety.
So we could, well, or we could do it sometime in January to try to get the department heads together.
We could do that.
Do Do you think that's possible, Ms. Eki?
I would say after the first of the year would be better, just with holiday schedules and whatnot.
Right.
But yeah, I'm sure they'll be happy to come.
Okay. So that's all I have. So I guess we're up to you again.
So do we have a decision on your meetings then on the 26th?
I believe I'm hearing that we're all okay to cancel the meetings
Yes, ma'am.
on December 26th?
I hear no dissent.
Okay, yes.
I'm good.
So I will send an email to confirm that, but those meetings will be canceled.
Thank you. Any other new business?
Mr. President?
So I know what you're getting ready to do, so real quick, I do want to go back over this.
Okay.
So at 6:40 on January the 2nd, we will do our swearing-ins for our new board council members. We will have our organizational meeting at 6:45, and then we will have our regular council meeting at 7 p.m. And then, because I haven't had my chance to say it, thank you, Ms. Blythe, for your time and dedication to this council. I do appreciate it greatly. And change is always hard, but Mr. Davis, welcome. We'll get you going here and get started on January 1st. But again, Ms. Blythe, thank you very much. Everything you've done means a lot. And with that, Ms. DeWalden.
I move to adjourn.
I second the motion.
All right, motion to adjourn by Ms. DeWald, second by Ms. Blythe. Any discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Dukestein,
Yes.
Ms. DeWallen,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood,
Yes.
Ms. Alexander,
Yes.
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Blythe,
Yes.
Ms. Brunner.
Yes.
Motion passed 7-0.
Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.